How's it going, guys? You alright? Just give me 2 seconds, just finishing setting up the stream on both YouTube and TikTok. Okay, good to go. Hope everyone's well. Yeah, all good, thanks. Will, how are you? No. That's unlucky, Will. I just caught the end of that. Pretty sure it said you lost, right? Welcome everyone on YouTube and TikTok. Only just got started. On 2 of 4, didn't win 2. Oh, all right. That's fair enough, mate. It's pretty good. You know you booked the ground through Neil. Oh, no. I did not know that. I was not informed that at all. I will speak to him. Obviously, I'll put that on the vlog that I just thought it was fully booked. I'll speak to him separately. It's annoying because I've booked this other place for June. Yeah, I was not told that. Yeah, makes perfect sense now. Race 21. Yeah, mate, if you're around, whereabouts are you again, Bato? Cheers for the info on that, Harry. Oh, come on. How unjust is that? Yeah, mate, give me a shout. Give me a shout what days you're around here. We'll organise something. Alright, what are we going here then? What would you do? Reds or yellows? Write it in the chat. Let's get started early here. I'm feeling good about today's session, so we'll see. Maybe not about this clearance, but the session in general. I don't know if I can go yellows. There's 6 perfect yellows in the middle of the table, but the one at the top is terrible and the black is terrible as well. So I think I've got to go reds, but this is really bad. I think this is probably first red, get it out of the way, then maybe use one of these two to try and go up and break into that. that's what I'm going to try and do. Let's go reds and see if I leave myself an angle to go into these two second shot. I'm not too worried about this because I can play it as a plant onto that. So it's all about this first shot really. If I miss, I'm going to carry on because it's pretty much first shot of the day. Alright. Well, I don't have the angle at the moment to go into these two. But I've got a chance to get into a position where I can. So play this one, come over to here. If I leave this angle on this, I've got a feeling I can go through these two yellows and try and go into that. Give me an angle, give me an angle. It's an angle, but I would have liked to have been about a centimetre that way, a little bit. Should be able to pinch the pocket and play this with power to try and go into those two. Just need to separate them. Or just go straight into the corner, watch. Alright, I'm not mad. That's fine. It's a bit lucky actually. Now the question is, do I play the plant first and leave this over the pocket, or do I play it to break into that straight away? I could see that red going weird if I play it at pace. But I've got the angle now, so hopefully this turns into a skill shot, but as long as I'm on that red and over the corner. Oh my god! Not good. That was what I was meant to leave. Or actually, I was meant to break straight into that. So, welcome everyone. First session, first frame of the day. That was what I was meant to do. Overthought it, I think. Get past it. That's something Will would do. Will, are you still here? It's annoying. Have you got town chalk? Yes. Yeah, that's the only chalk I recommend is town. It's just so much better than any other chalk. Alright, so we're starting from now. That was the first frame of the day. First frame is always a practice frame. Let's try and get some clearances. If you guys have got any questions, feel free to ask. First time I've been live in a while. English pool is the game. Aim of this is to basically just clear the table, try and pop balls, hopefully get some feedback from you guys, what you want to see, what you would do in certain situations. Be sure to write it in the chat, make it as interactive as possible. Do you play darts? If you give me a month, I can play darts to a relatively competitive level, but nowhere near at a level that I can play pool. I'll just be able to hold my own in a pub. But it would take me about a month to get to that standard. Come on. 2 breaks where I can't believe nothing's gone down. I know everyone says that, but that is the story of the first 2 breaks. Are you getting a pool table? Yeah, absolutely. If you can get your own pool table, 100%. The link to it is in my bio on my website. All right, so what are you doing here? This is not an easy finish regardless of whether you try and go for it or not. I think that you've got to develop, if you go reds, you have to develop this red. This is the worst on the table. If you go yellows, you've got to develop this yellow. Or, yeah, no, you have to develop this yellow because it doesn't go past, obviously, that. So you've got to go reds. I see both of them being maybe like a 10-20% chance of a clearance. Unless I get a little bit of luck here and there. First job, I would say to play this red and move that red because I don't like where it is. I just want to move it out of the way. I'd hope to leave myself a shot on this, or this, or this. Alright, again, I'm not mad about it. Just got into the cue ball a little bit too much there. This is going to be the pain. Ideally, to break that out, I'd leave something like this, a shot like that to go into it. Or, obviously the perfect place would be here to play into the yellow, but that's so difficult to land on. Plus, if I play this shot in the future and move the red, it's going to go over here, which I don't really want. So I think coming at it from this angle on this red to go into it, it's going to leave the cue ball where the red and yellow is and probably leave me a shot on that to the corner. So that's where I'm going to be aiming in X amount of shots time. Just don't want to leave that one. Do I go into it now? No. 2 shots time, I'll go into it. 3 shots time, sorry. Not good. I want it to be straight on this red. And I'm kind of just digging myself a hole here. Still digging. All planning has gone out the window. I'm just relying on potting now. Potting balls, that's all I'm relying on. Yeah, that was never... Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, so often that'll happen with me, is I'll go for a 1 out of 10 clearance, try and land in one position and get nowhere. But new camera for YouTube? No, I've just zoomed in a little bit. It's the same same thing. I had my internet changed today, so it should be faster. I don't know if that also makes the picture better. What cue would you recommend? The Ultimate Pool Master Cue. The link to it is in my bio. So this is the cue I recommend. Ultimate Pool Master Cue. You can get it in 6 different colours. It's pretty good. Good first time cue, I'd say. Oh, that's good. Hopefully that means more people watch me on YouTube. Alright, here we go. Let's go. Again, alright, 0-1. We'll try and get a reverse clearance. Write down your colour in the chat. Reds or yellows, what would you go for? Reds or yellows? Write your colour in the chat. I think assess the problems first and then decide a colour. Don't look at necessarily the easiest first shot. That's what a lot of beginners make that same mistake, is they look at the first shot and be like, oh, I could just put the cue ball here and make this shot because it's easy. And they don't think about these 5 reds and where they are. Also, they might see like, oh, I could put it there, but they don't see this problem, which is the biggest problem on the table. However, the reds are really separate from each other, so you're going to have to travel the cue ball quite a bit. I don't love this red. Probably going to have to land here to play it down here, which I don't like those shots in general. But yeah, I think percentage-wise, you probably go reds here. A little bit less can go wrong. And also with yellows, you have to move these 2, which is probably doable if you put the cue ball there, go into it, but then it's risky. Whereas the reds, they all have pockets, so let's make the reds. Hopefully make the reds anyway. You could go red middle pocket, but you've got to play that so soft, which means you leave the white where this is, and it's just then difficult to land on any of those 3. You're probably leaving yourself a cut on this. So that's the reason why I didn't do that. Next shot is to try and leave myself here for that one next. Get close to it if I can. And then from there, just need to control this shot. It's missable on this table. These pockets are quite tight. So screw back to here. Ideally here, I can play this and then leave myself here because I want a choice. I could play this one next or this one. That's the ideal position to be in 2 shots time. Close to the cushion. Close to the cushion. So what that just means is instead of being here, I'm probably going to be more here. Still got a shot on that. It's just further away from the red than I would have liked. Okay. So I've got a choice of 2, but you can see if I play this one now, it's going to be travelling up table and going roughly where this red is. So I'm not going to leave myself a shot on this. I could try and go into the red or leave it middle pocket. No, let's just go for the percentage shot, play this long, screw back to here. If I land in this position, easy finish. It's just a bit of a difficult one, this one. Oh my God, how has that not dropped? I wasn't even looking at it. Let's fully assume that was it. But again, very missable. So, very missable. I thought I was in as soon as I hit it. Didn't even look at it. Just assumed. Never a good idea. All right, we're 0-2. Not a great start. Potted a couple of balls, but not a good finish. Again, if you guys want to see this from a different camera angle, YouTube, I'm live down that end of the table. TikTok, I'm live on the camera behind me. Both channels called Attacking 8 Ball. YouTube, TikTok's got music in the background. YouTube doesn't. Both have got a scoreboard. So yeah, whichever one you want to watch. All right, it's 0-2. Let's make it. Let's get an easy break. Let's get a break where everything splits up and the cue ball doesn't go in. All right, well, we finally got one. Ish. Again, it's just not mega easy. It's doable, but it's not easy. I'll probably give this like maybe a 40% chance of a clearance here. Got to develop some balls. There is a chance. Okay, what colour are you going? Reds or yellows? Write it in the chat. Reds or yellows? So I think because of this red, you're kind of forced into going yellows. It's very difficult to land on this red. You kind of got to land behind it or you've got to move it, one of those two. In fact, the first shot on reds, I mean, you could play that as a double and try and go into that, but it's just risky. Whereas with yellows, obviously this isn't great, but what you can do is play this ball, hope to miss the black and go into that red. So I think I'll hopefully be in a position to do that in a couple of shots' time. This is obviously the first ball on yellows. Yeah, this is not as easy as I thought. Maybe 30%. Okay, so ideally, this is going to be a tricky one. I want to land straight on this, so I want to screw back to about there, ideally. Slightly off straight. Not great. Can I leave an angle? It's going to go close. As long as I miss the black, run into the red, I need the cue ball to move. Right, so what's going to happen, hopefully, if I miss the black, I'm going to go into that red, but the cue ball is going to be here, which leaves me no angle to get onto this yellow. I need the cue ball to carry forwards where the red is would be perfect, just so I've got a straighter shot on that yellow so I can then run down here for that. So that's what I'm thinking about with this next shot. I can't believe no, I can believe I've flicked the black there. As I said, it was always a risk. And now it becomes a really difficult finish. Okay, so I'm relying on a little bit of luck here. Pop the yellow, go into the cushion with left-hand side. I need that left-hand side to take, which it probably won't on these cushions. Hit this side of this red and travel then towards this yellow. Hopefully it kind of goes past it to here or it stops here. As long as it leaves me a shot, that's what I'm trying to do. I've got a bad feeling I'm going to be going that side of the red though. Yeah, just couldn't hit it thin enough. I've got a shot, but it's difficult, and on these cushions, with these pockets, it's quite tough. Just leave me something. Leave me something. Don't go there. Is that a cut? Can I cut that? I can cut it, but that cue ball is going dangerously close to that corner. And I don't really know how to avoid it. Ooh, that's how you avoid it. You get really lucky. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't put any spin on that. Just, it was always going to go close. It's just whether it hit the jaws or went in, really. But yeah, thanks so much everyone for tuning in. Hit that follow button if you can. Or that sub button on YouTube. Again, just a couple of hours practice today. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask. Can't see a good red opener. Yeah, that was the problem, Stuart. There was one to that top left-hand corner, but that red in the bottom left was just terrible. Or, sorry, top right for you was terrible. All right, we've got the first one on the board, 1 and 2. Whew. Let's keep this going. Something going. I was going to say that would be a bit unjust if nothing went in there. All right, again, right, it's a good split. What colour are you going, reds or yellows? Yeah, I was happy with that one, Sean. Absolutely, mate. Reds or yellows, which one are you going for? This is an interesting one because it's not easy on either. You can't really go reds because you don't have a first red. So you're forced into going yellows. Obviously, we look at the bad yellows. This isn't great. This one's the worst yellow on the table. You can land on it if you land where this yellow is. You can play to cut it, but you're going straight into that red, which then leaves probably not an ideal leave. I think what I want to do, because my best three reds, yellows, oh sorry, so this one's obviously fine. We'll get rid of that one. That'll be first shot. This is the best yellow. This yellow is really good, and this yellow is really good. So what I want to do is I want to leave this one and this one. So I'm thinking get rid of the problem ball, this one early. So the pattern would be 1, 2, say here, 2, which leaves me here. I can then play 3, leave the cue ball here, and if I cut that one back and bounce into that red, I'd be unlucky to not leave myself a shot on this one or this one to either middle or middle, and then hopefully have 1, 2, 3 balls remaining and finish from there. All right, let's see. Probably going to miss the first ball now. I've been yapping. Right, so the angle I leave for this one to the corner is quite important because I want to be almost dead straight on it. Just screwing back a centimetre or so. That's fine. So I can leave the cue ball where that yellow is to play that cut. I need to rely on a bit of luck after that though. That does go through that gap, but I'm landing on that. I don't like the thought of landing on that. Okay, so I'm on my bad ball. Now I need to rely on luck. I'm going to be kicking into that cushion and hitting that red full ball. Hopefully leave myself a shot on this one or this one. Wow, how have I missed that? Did not think that would happen. That goes to show how slidey these cushions are. And I would say that's a little bit unlucky. Basically, the white has skidded off that cushion around the back of the red. It's a little bit unlucky to land on this cushion because it just means I'm leaving myself a super difficult first shot here. I've got a choice, top right, top left. Top left is the easier pot, but probably leaves me behind that red if I play it soft. Unless I play it super soft to try and land on that to the middle. This one is a harder pot, and I think I've got to play the 1 to my top left. And hope to play it so soft that I roll here. That doesn't leave me in any position to get from here to here though. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. I might be forced to take in the one top right. Might be playing into here. Cue ball's coming here, and that leaves me at least a finish of that one to middle. All right, let's go. Come on, get a little bit lucky here. Lucky. Stop. Okay. So at least I was saying I have this shot. At least from here I can somewhat land on that. Getting from that to the black's going to be so difficult. And the problem with this shot is naturally I'm running towards this red and probably behind it I could be here, which will leave me no shot. So I need to again play this soft so I hopefully land maybe where the red is. That's as best as I can do. That's going to leave me, I'll show you the shot it's going to leave, probably that. That's not going to be ideal to get on the black, but it's all I've got. So let's go. Make sure of the shot first. Turn. Oh my God, that's annoying. Would have been leaving a difficult shot on this red. It's yellow even. So irritating. All right, anyway, we move on. 1 and 3. If you guys have got any questions, because I haven't seen the chat really, I haven't seen it for the last kind of couple of minutes. If whilst I'm at the table, try not to ask questions when I'm playing. Ask them when I'm racking the balls up like this. Yeah, it was a little bit, Michael. I think, I don't know, that whole clearance wasn't ever going to be a high percentage clearance, I don't think. How long have I been playing? About 33 years on and off. Is this my job? No, I run my own personal training business when I'm not doing this. But I play pool for about 30% of my week. I've got for the World Championship. God knows, mate. No idea. You flip a coin with some of these players nowadays. That's the best break. That's probably the best break today. I'll be unlucky to not leave some for kind of a finish. I mean, it could be better on a red. God, yellows are terrible. They're both bad because of the first ball. Kind of been the story of the break so far. The first ball, haven't had an easy first ball on both colours. I don't have a red, and I need a red because the yellows are terrible. I mean, I could try and play that, but that's such a difficult shot. I'm just going to go yellows and hope to fluke a clearance. This is about 5% chance of a finish here. No control, block that yellow. Everything's getting so much easier now that I've just blocked that yellow off. All right, sooner I miss, the better. Let's go. Let's get a break that I can actually work with. Am I an ultimate pool? On the Challenger series, yes. And I work with some of the pros just filming content and stuff. Tier 2. In a game, what would I have done? Probably that red that I was there next to, I would have maybe rolled it in behind it or something, just let my opponent get to the table so that they can maybe go for a 5% clearance. I would have done everything I can there to get my opponent to take the risk. In fact, if I get a good break, if I get a break like that again, where it's like 5–10% chance of me clearing up, I'll show you what I would do in an actual match. They're splitting nice today. Still can't make a ball though. And again, first shot on reds is this, first shot on yellows is that. If I can make the first ball, both are great, but it's the first ball. Very similar story to the last frame. So I think I've got to try and get this red, leave myself here for these two. If I pop that and leave the cue ball here, it's like a 75% chance of a finish. All right. So now we can start to think about a pattern. First time I've had this in a few frames actually. So obviously where the black, if you notice the black is that side of that pocket, one of these two would ideally be the last ball, because then you don't have to move the cue ball, you just leave it here. Whereas if the cue ball, if the black was here, you'd probably want to get rid of these early and then move your way up the table. So working backwards from the black, I know that this is probably second last, or last, second last, so I can forget about those for now. So then it's a case of figuring out an order between these four that gets me onto these two, that gets me onto the black. So I think what I'm going to try and do is play one. Don't want to leave that to the middle. I could land here to play that, but I don't really want to do that. One to there. If I've got a good angle, I'll go 2, 3, 4, and that's what gets me into this position for these two. Something like that is a very loose plan. Could play that in the middle now. I might play it into the middle, or do I? Just need to bump into that yellow. Such a bad shot. How have I made that? That was not a good shot. A little bit undeserved there. Alright, so now change of plan. Play this. Hope to land here for this, and then go here for this, and then the black. Something like that anyway. I think again, a lot of people, if you were a beginner, you probably think this one because it's easy, but that then doesn't really leave an easy shot on this to get on that. Whereas if you play that, land on that, you don't have to do anything with the cue ball, you're on this. So I'll try and leave myself a shot like that on this red. It's not ideal, but it will do. So I just need to kill the spin, use a bit of bottom left to kill the spin, move the cue ball to here for an easy black. In fact, just backspin on this is fine. Twat. Did all the hard work as well. That's why it's a 70% chance, 75%, not 100% chance for clearance. And I apologise for my language. Again, if you guys have got any questions, feel free to ask. We've got 600 people on TikTok, 15 on YouTube. Good to see everyone. How much support table? Link is in my bio. 1 and 4, not good. I've got a match tonight, a league, like the first round of this tournament we have in the local area. And I've got to start getting. Come on. I was going to say, nothing went in there. Right, this is. If I don't make this clearance, I might just turn the camera off. Do I ever play massé shots? Only in very desperate situations. Alright, I think you probably go reds here, because if you decide to go yellows, you're going to have to move behind the black or get into a really small area to play it into a pocket. So I think with the reds, as long as you clear the reds out of the way, the black obviously will have a pocket. Here I'm actually just trying to hopefully roll into the black. If I miss it, I should be leaving myself a shot on this. Roll into it like that. So the finish now becomes, so we can see that these are the last two based on where they are for an ideal shot on the black. So if I play these last, then I'll leave the cue ball in this area. I'm leaving myself that on the black. So the exact finish should be 1 to there, which again, don't need to move the cue ball. And this is important with this game. You want as little cue ball travel as possible. So you can see the pot I'm going to make here is going to leave me here. So again, the cue ball won't have travelled far. Then I play this one to here, cue ball won't have travelled far. And I'll move this one. Cue ball's got to travel a little bit, but it comes up to here. Depending on the angle, I'll probably play this one, black. So again, just don't want the cue ball moving too much with this clearance. Is the table slate? Yes. I've completely miscued that. The easiest shot of the day and I've miscued it. Unbelievable. I don't know if anyone saw that. My cue just slid off the cue ball. I'm not going to get an easier finish. I can't make that. I give up. 5-2 up in a game right there. What shot's that? The one to roll in behind the red that we were talking about earlier. This is slate. This table weighs 300 kilos. It's not MDF. The link to the table is in my bio. It's 1 and 5, which is great. The tip of my cue, I mean, it's nothing really to report. It's 8.9mm Elkmaster Pro. That's what I play with. Another perfect split. Well, not perfect, but good split. What would you guys go here? How's it going, Job? Yeah, MDF tables are a thing. They're a lot cheaper. They're the ones you'll find in like Argos and places like that in the UK. Like £100 tables. They're all made of MDF. Problem with MDF is if your cloth goes, you've got to replace the table. Whereas this, you can just replace it each time. All right, so we look at the balls. These two aren't ideal because they don't go past this red. With the reds, I mean, there is a pattern on reds. You could go 1, 2, into this position, 3, 4, leave a gap for 5, and then finish those 2, then the black. But you probably wouldn't. I think there's a lot more risk going reds. With the yellows though, I really don't like how these two don't go into a pocket straight away. So you're gonna have to clear some pockets to be able to play that into there, and eventually that into there. So the yellows aren't as easy as they look, but I might just go reds for a laugh. I'll go reds. I'm going reds for a laugh, why not? I would never do this in a match, I'll go yellows. But nothing's really working at the minute, so I've got to try and make something happen. That needs to not hit that red, please. Play that red now. That means this becomes last ball, I think. Really, it's how to get from, if I play these two now, because this one's easy, that gets me here, which leaves an easy one on this. But then how do you finish these 3 like easily? Black is not in a great place. I think what I've got to try and do, pop this one. If I can land there on this one, that can get me here on this one. Which, if it leaves me here for that, I'll take that as the hard pot and try and land on the black in the middle. It's probably an easy way of doing this, but let's go. I mean, that's just a terrible shot. What is that? Bad shot. On that red. I'm on it, but it's kind of guarded. If I can leave that gap, absolutely ideal. Just need to leave the cue ball right where the red is. It cannot move. It moved. You see it screw back a little bit? Am I on it? No. Have I got to swerve it? Masse it? Yes. Do I want to be playing this shot? Absolutely not. Oh, we got it. I'll take that. I'll take that. I think I might have to pin that. What are we at? 2.5. I'll remember that. I'll post that as a video. Told you Reds. I appreciate that, Brian. Thank you. Wow, so many people on YouTube now. Had about 15 of you earlier. 225 of you now. Good to see you all. 400 of you watching on TikTok as well. Much appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're new to the channel, my name's Simon. The channel's called Attacking 8 Ball. I basically just play attacking pool, English pool to be precise. So if you've got any questions about the game, about me, whatever, feel free to ask and I'll do my best in answering it. Appreciate the gift, Jones, thank you. Is it boring to play on your own? No, I'd say it's an important part of developing your game is to practice on your own. Doesn't necessarily mean you always play on your own, but it's definitely, if you want to get good at this game, get comfortable at practicing on your own on occasion, because it makes your game so much better. It's kind of like going to the driving range when you play golf. Oh. Wow. There's a flurry of yellows there. And if my opponent's at the table right now, I'd expect them to get a clearance 9 times out of 10 here. What colour are you going, reds or yellows? Write it in the chat. And then I'll discuss what I would do if I was in a match. Reds or yellows? I know everyone's thinking, well, you potted 4 yellows, so yellows is much easier because you potted 4 of them. Often, if you're trying to improve your game, very few occasions would a higher level player or whatever, professional level player, very limited time would they go for the colour which has less, because it means that they've got less room for error. You've got to be landing on each ball perfectly on their own. So say you decide to go here, first shot, play that. You have to land perfect on this, to land perfect on this, to land perfect on this. Whereas if I go reds, I can play this one to land here, and if I land a cue ball here, I've got a choice of 1, 2, and then say I decide to play that, and then play that, and come back to here. Where are we? Say I land there. I've got a choice, 1, 2. You just got so much more room for error when there's more balls on the table. So it's very rarely a good thing if you've got less. Let's see what we can do. If this yellow weren't here, it would be so easy, this finish. Twat. Sorry, French. All right, screw back. And what I was saying before, am I on a ball? At least I've got a choice. I can go 1, 2, or 3. Say I'd potted that. This is just for the sake of it. Again, my point, there's more room for error when there's more balls on the table. How do you do that? How have you done that? I don't think I could do that again if I tried. All right, any questions, guys, feel free to ask. Red's less traffic, yes. So that's basically it, Stuart. Is when there's more balls on the table for the opponent, it means you've got more traffic to deal with. But I get the thing with beginners, I get it. A beginner or a low intermediate player will be thinking, well, I've only got 4 balls left, which means I've got less work to do. I've got less balls to pot. Try not to think like that. Just trust in your potting and your pattern play. How we doing, Ryan? Good to see you, mate. Okay, let's try and get a finish. Cheers for the gift, Jaden. Tie up any balls. Don't tie up. Look at that. You say it and then 2. And an awful first shot. Or if you go yellows. See, I think part of me would rather go yellows here. 10% chance of a finish. I am going to go for it though. I know I said I wouldn't, but I'm going to go for it. God, I hate the reds in this situation. The yellows are pretty bad, but I hate reds. I'm going to try and pot this yellow and hope to leave my cue ball roughly where that red is over there. Oh, come on. Right. Say that went in. The reason why I wanted to do that is because, say I'd left the cue ball where the red is, which pretty much did, I've got a choice. I can play this one to break this one, which I'm going to do later, but I've got this one to break this one. So I'll play that first. And leave myself absolutely nowhere. I probably would have played that with more conviction. What I would have hoped is something like that had happened. Then I could have potted this to there, and that shot is what would have got me down there to break that yellow out. So. Or you shoot like tight left spin. I can, if I'm. The problem is, it's very difficult to talk about spin you're using when you're not playing well, because you find your concentration's all on the pot. I'll try and say like top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, or whatever. But yeah, just forgive me if I don't on each time. I'm just desperate to get a clearance. Right, what are we on? 26. Keep sharing the live if you can, please, guys. Really appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up on YouTube if you can as well. Well, that's probably, definitely the worst break of the day. Worst split on the of the day so far. But let's hear it. What would you go, reds or yellows? They've both got the same problem, this is the thing. It's which one's worse. They've both got an okay opening ball, this one or this one. I think I'm going to go reds here. There's a little bit less cue ball travel, and the first shot on yellows is quite difficult to control where the cue ball goes from this. So this one, I play this. If I land here, I'm in a position to take these reds out without having to move anything. The only issue is where the black's going to go. I'll probably end up nudging a yellow out of the way or something like that. So let's get this first pot in. That needs to move, that needs to move, that needs to move. Oh my word, that's so bad. I've got this to the corner, but I really didn't want to be playing it. I think I've got it though. I've got to try and get back, come back to around here, be in a better position where I am now. Travel twice. Put myself in the exact same spot. Just needed to be there. All right, now we're in a bit of trouble. Relying on luck. Did not want to be in this situation. Can't play that shot. It's going to leave me nothing. I've got to try and play a plant. Right. Now I can hopefully get enough reaction, because this is a bad ball. If the cue ball goes over here, it's a bad ball. What I'll hopefully be able to do is play that and dig in so much that I go into the black and yellow, and that should hopefully leave that red to the corner. If I hit the red, it's probably not going to be a good thing. Okay, that's left with the red to the corner. Can I get back for the other red? Oh God, this yellow is right in the position I want to hit that cushion and land back here, so it's not great. I can't double that red. Oh, this is not good. Can I play top? I don't know if I can get enough reaction to land here. I've got to try and play top. Got to try and power this in. I hate playing topspin, especially with any side. Anyway, and I did snatch at that a little bit. Should have taken my time on it. I think I just got greedy there. I tried to play that with top. What did I do? Top left, and I just didn't account for that. I hit centre ball, or I should have aimed a little bit further over to the left than I did. Thoughts on Eddie Barker? Great player. I've played him in the head camera clearances that I do on my page. Be sure to check that out if you can. What's that? 7-2. Wow. Terrible. I thought I'd be challenging today. Again, just a bad split. That yellow's got to go. Surely that goes. Wow. All right. Low percentage chance for clearance, but we'll try and make it anyway. I think we've got to go yellows because I can get rid of these two first and second. That is that a plant? No, this yellow's tied up, so that's got to be moved. Figure out as we go, basically. Might be able to go on it into it from the corner. Got to try and go into it from that ball, which I really don't want to be doing, but I've got to. Or, because I think if I play that and I hit that yellow and red, it's not guaranteed that I'm leaving myself anything. Whereas if I play this to go into this cushion and hit this red and leave the cue ball where that red is, that's leaving me a perfect angle to go into the pack, and it leaves me the insurance of having this ball later on. So I think I'm going to do that. So again, gold, pop that, go here, hit that red, leave the cue ball where the red is. That's a harder shot than I thought when I first looked at it. Twat again. Bad ball. Play the. Right, let's see what would have happened. So that was there. I was here. Let's see what would have happened with this shot if I decided to play it. I would have somehow developed the yellow like that and landed on it perfectly. All right. Here's what it is. Again, guys, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. Currently, the clearance challenge is going terribly, but I'm not too mad about it. I know that on a match day like today, I've got a match later on tonight. I know that on days like that, if I play bad during practice, I'll play well in the match. So I'm just holding on to that. It's not always true. I just tell myself that. So stop panicking. I'm definitely not panicking. All right. Get lucky. All right, what colour you would go, reds or yellows? This is probably a 50% chance for a finish here. Definitely have another clearance. Right. I don't love this yellow. I think reds are probably the ball. I think there's a little bit less that could go wrong with reds. The first shot is playing this one to move, hit that yellow into that red and move that red up here to leave myself a shot on that. That's if I go reds. If I go yellows, this is the first shot. This is leaving me here for this second. And then I think a little bit could go wrong. This yellow isn't in a great place. If you look at how many pockets that goes into, even if I move this yellow, that yellow goes nowhere. Doesn't go in this corner, that middle. It does go in that middle, but you wouldn't land on it there. It doesn't go there and it doesn't go there. So I think based on that reason, I'm going to be going reds. Okay. I mean, I'm on this, but I don't like how the cue ball's tied onto that yellow. Wow, this is going to leave me in a horrendously difficult shot. Double is the easiest thing I'll be leaving from here. Could cut it, but I think I prefer the double. Relying on a little bit of luck here not to get a double kiss for a start. And not to hit that yellow. Wow. This is painful today. If I made that shot, it would have been bread and butter. Okay, let's go again. So 2 and 9. Wow. It was me thinking I would get like 3 clearances back to back today. I barely had 1. I've had 2. So yeah, we played some more, Craig. If you keep an eye on both our pages, there'll be more videos up. It's mainly shorts, but there is a long. Like I'll have 2 long videos. I think Kev's probably got 2 long videos, and some shorts as well. So. What's that? 9-2. Wow. No. Reds or yellows? What are you doing? Cheers, mate. Much appreciated. It's not written out correctly, Xander, but it's in case you want to advertise your business. If you have an online business that you feel would benefit from a channel that gets around 15 million views a month, you can have your logo on here. I did have one company before, but they've had to stop their sponsorship. So yeah, it's basically looking for a sponsor. It should be written advertise your business here, but I made this shirt ages ago. So all right, what are we doing then? Let's think. This yellow, I don't think that goes in that corner. It's not ideal. With reds, I mean, these 2 aren't great. You could potentially move, you could play this shot. If you can play that shot and hit that yellow and leave the white where that yellow is, reds are easy. So I want to do that as soon as possible. So I'm going to leave, as an insurance shot, I'm going to leave this ball, because what will happen is you play this one, leave the cue ball, say, here, play this one and try and go into this yellow. If I don't land on it, or say I run past it and land here, I've at least leaving my shot on this one to the middle. Have I got a ball in hand? Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to leave that ball on the table. Just figuring out the angle I want to be playing into this. So again, left-hand side should be here. That's a pretty poor shot. Left-hand side to try and move this yellow. done is now I can play my insurance ball and then I'll have this ball. It's not perfect, but it's much better than it was. I want to be leaving myself dead straight on this, so I need to be here. So I need to just punch over an inch or so. Not that far. That's a bad shot. It should be straight, so I could just top through to leave that to the middle. I mean, it's not the absolute end of the world, but that is a poor shot. It's going to leave me I need to get behind this yellow. Red, sorry. He's come off this cushion and back. Leave it straight. Stop. Stop. All right, to the corner then. We'll take that. To the corner takes me straight into the yellow, and I can't come down and score off this cushion and back out. I've got to play it to the middle, and that is a difficult shot. Especially when you play it like that. How many times have I done that today? How many times? 10 times. Last ball syndrome. Recent vlog, I struggled a lot with nerves. So if you find the answer, then all is. Yeah, I asked a couple of the guys just how they deal with nerves, but it's more of a psychological thing than anything, mate. You can focus on your breathing, meditation, like... Sorry guys, on TikTok. TikTok making me verify the live. What else was I saying? I can't even remember. Yeah, so it's more like psychological techniques. If you just type into Google without getting a coach, if you just type into Google how to stay relaxed during sports events or something like that, do you know what I mean, and playing a sports game, it's all going to be very kind of, it's going to follow the same kind of patterns, whether it's imagery, like self-talk, or like I said, breathing patterns, stuff like that. Pool isn't sport. I mean, I'd love to know what it is. What it is then? Has a professional sport and governing body, and it's considered a sport by Sport England. So yeah. Much like you don't know how to spell, I guess. Right, what are we doing? We're resetting this scoreboard. Let's go. Oh, nice one. Yeah, we'll do. I'll do that when I finish this. All right, what are we doing then? We're going for reds. Let's see if I can talk through an exact pattern. Oh, I hate where the black is. That's an awful leave for the black. Terrible leave for the black. Where's the black go? All right, I'm going to try and think of something fancy for the black. But let's do this fast. Plant onto there. Play that ball second. Land here. Play this ball third. This ball will be fourth, which gets me over to here to play that ball fifth. Screw back to here to play that sixth. And then I hope to be able to top through to here to be able to play that seventh. Go into that yellow, leave the cue ball where the yellow is, and play black into the middle. That's what I'm hoping for anyway, so let's see. Probably missed the plant first go, knowing me. Shot, not a good shot. That's why I just try to save the cue ball, as always. Would I have got it the way I would have if I'd made that shot? Bloody would have as well. Bloody would have, of course I would have. Alright, let's go again. Just missing silly shots today. let's go again. About 2 clearances out of 11, 13 frames. Terrible. Interesting. I think I've got to go yellows because I don't have a red. But it's an interesting one, this. If the cue ball's in a better place, there's argument for both. But I think based on where the cue ball is, kind of got to go yellows. This red doesn't go into that middle. And that red doesn't go past that yellow. So yeah, going yellows here. Oh god, I don't even know if that goes. That's very close. That's missable. I'm going to play it second though. I don't know if this goes. It might just hit this yellow, but we'll see. It hit the yellow. The yellow in not a great place, but it's not absolutely terrible. It's going to be a tough finish now. Just needed to avoid that yellow. Don't get straight on it. Don't be straight on it. Wow. Wow. That's no good. No good. This is the only shot I've got, really. Leave me something. Look at the positioning on that. So again, just one ball syndrome. That wasn't an easy shot, to be fair, but they're the difference makers. You've got to be making those balls. Right, I'm going to do something different because I'm not really getting much success with this. So let's do a drill. So you guys have all seen the drills that I do. I pretty much just stick to the same drills because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's my mentality when it comes to drills. They're all helpful in their own way. For me, basic positioning, not basic positioning, like semi-difficult pots are my issue right now. So I'll start with basic pots and then work up to harder shots, basically. Maybe just make up a drill on the spot. So you're probably all familiar with the line drill. Basically, you've got to play all the balls into any pocket. There's beginner, intermediate, advanced versions of this. I like to do the advanced version. So that is where you are putting all of the balls into one side of the table and you take them in order. So you would go this red, 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 and then you go yellow, 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 all the way up, finish with this yellow, and then put the black. That's the harder version, and they all have to go in the same side of the table. So that's the advanced version of that drill. Again, just works on basic positioning. Easier pots because all the balls are in the middle of the table. But good confidence building drill, that one, I think. Watch this space, Daryl. In the future, hopefully, mate. What am I doing now? What am I doing? Oh, yeah. So again, this drill is probably my favourite to work on more advanced positioning and cue ball control. Again, you probably won't find that if I'm on my lives, I very rarely do more than kind of 3 or 4 drills, because I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to drills. Alright, so this is called the circle drill. For those of you who haven't seen it, the objective is basically, this is not a beginner's drill, this is an intermediate drill / advanced. The objective is to pot all of the balls, any pockets. The rule is the cue ball cannot leave the circle. If you want to do it the intermediate way, you pot all the balls in any order. If you want to do it the advanced way, pot all of one colour, followed by all of the other colour, followed by the black. So this is the kind of situation you want to be in with the cue ball. You see how I've left myself a choice on all 4. If you can do that, you give yourself a little bit more room for error. And again, choice on all 3. Got greedy there, tried to position myself for both, which I did. Just forgot about the pot. Ugh, what a horrendous shot. I've got to leave a double. And miss that. Is it a double or a treble? Go in! Again, if you guys have got any questions, feel free to ask. So I'm going to go back to trying to clear the table from the break. Let's see if doing those drills has just helped kind of reset everything. And we'll go from there. Appreciate all the subs on YouTube, all the follows on TikTok. Have I played against anyone on this table? Yeah, many times. But today is just a practice because I've only got a couple of hours that I can play today. Okay, that's about split. Bit annoying, nothing's gone down. What would you guys go, reds or yellows? Difficult one, this. Reds or yellows? Right here in the chat. They're both very low percentage clearances. I think you have to go reds. A couple of reasons. That yellow over there is terrible. This yellow is terrible. This yellow is terrible. So that's 3 bad yellows. With reds, that's the only bad red. So you've got to figure out how to break that out. It's probably not going to be from the first shot, which is really annoying. But yeah, you've got to come back for it, really. I think this might be the ball that gets it. I'll show you that hopefully in a sec when I pop these first 2. Alright, so the shot I was aiming for after this is to get there so I can play that and screw into that, knowing that I should be leaving myself a shot on this one or this one. Okay, pretty good angle. So I've got a choice actually. I could just screw straight off of that one into it as well. Which one's the higher value? I think I like doing it from the middle. I'll get a little bit more control doing this, I think. Or do I play that? What would you guys do? Corner or middle? Your 2 choices are play this one to go into it, which is the middle, or play this one to go into it, which is the corner. Just write corner or middle. What would you go for? Again, this is based on personal preference. You could, alternatively, another option, play this one to here and then go from here into there. That's a way of controlling it. You know you're leaving yourself a shot on this. I think the middle, because I think if you look where this red is, if you leave the cue ball where that red is, you're leaving yourself, if you go for the corner, you're leaving yourself that shot, which isn't super difficult, but the cue ball's traveling. Whereas if you leave that shot, it's dead straight, you leave the cue ball still, and you're going to have yourself a shot on this. So let's do that. Now I'm probably going to miss this completely, having talked about it for so long. Okay, so little bit of fortune to land on this red, but I'll take it. Awkward shot this. Yeah, it was just awkward. It was just awkward. Frustrating. Should have had it. Should have had it. So frustrating. Very frustrating. Again, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. The best time to ask questions is when I'm down this end of the table. I'm not today, Robert, but I appreciate it. It all just comes down to playing as much as you can, mate. Let's see if we can get a finish today for the remainder of this session. Probably one of the better breaks today. It's not a dot-to-dot finish, but these are the types of breaks you like really want in this game. Only issue I'm seeing is that the first yellow, if I decide to go yellows, is not easy. I mean, I can cut that into there, but the cue ball's flying up table and it's just not easy to control. Whereas the first red, you can finish these 3, although they look quite awkward, you can finish them quite easily. So, link to the table is in my bio on my website. So the finish for these 3 reds, probably going to be 1. I'll use another cue ball to demo this. So you pop that one there, leave that. Play that to there. Then you've got this one. Play that down to that corner. Come off this cushion. So hit that there, there, there. And then all you've got to do is play that to there. Miss this red when you go past it to there. And then you've got the easy finish of that one and the black. Let's see. I've got to avoid this yellow first. It's very missable, this shot. Okay. That's so poor. Oh, how are you over there? Got into that so much. I wanted to be here. It's not the end of the world. It's actually quite lucky. But I just do it in the opposite order now. God, it's not lucky. Bad. Alright, yeah. That was not what I intended. Finally got a finish. It's taken about an hour. Thanks, Luan, for the roses. Any English on the break? I hit below centre to get the cue ball to come out of the way of the pack in a straight line, ideally, but it doesn't always work out like that. A lot of my luck, a lot of my break relies on luck, as with most players. There are some breaks you can do which are more controlled. So a cut break, for example, whole lot more controlled. But I'll play a cut break now, where my strength lies in like trying to clear the table, and not necessarily like a slow tactical game. This break often goes badly for me. So the objective here is to hit this red with a little bit of right hand side, and the cue ball should come into this cushion and back, so it's less likely to go in. It'll go straight in now, you watch. So pretty good split. Don't normally do that, they normally surround this area. But I've left my opponent the clearance, so not ideal. Didn't make perfect contact with that. Okay, I think you've got to go reds and just rely on your potting skills for the first shot. If you make the first red, should be a chance for clearance. What potting skills. Okay, I'm not going to count that one because it was from a cut break. And I hate the cut break. I'll only ever use it if I'm desperate. I'm desperate to not pot the white. Again, any other questions, guys, feel free to ask. Wow, talk. Interesting. Interesting. Right, what would you guys do? Reds or yellows? Let's hear it. Write your colour in the chat. How often are you at Rocket Ronnie's? I'm there tonight for a match, but rarely am I at Ronnie's. I do play for Ronnie's on a Tuesday night, but it's not, the season hasn't started yet. But yeah, I'm there tonight for a match, so if anyone's there, be sure to say hi. All right, so I think we go reds. The reason why, don't like this yellow, don't love this yellow, and I don't love this yellow. I could play that first, but it's not an easy finish because of 1, 2, and 3. This red, I can play that to here and play that second. As long as I then end up in a position like this, these 5 reds I'm not worried about at all, and then it's just a case of getting back for the black. So it's all about the first, oh God, looking at that angle now. I don't like it, I don't like it. I've just re-looked at this, and I don't think I can land here. I'm going straight into that red, and I don't like that. For that reason, I might be forced to go yellows here. Yeah, forced to go yellows. What a prick. Anyway, welcome to the channel. Jeez, that is so poor. It's the thought that counts. Should have gone reds. I miss all the time, mate. I only missed there because I hit another yellow first, which is just criminal. Yeah, that cue will bounce up straight in the middle pocket. Perfect break. I would ask you what you would do here, but no. This is a mess. Would you even remotely consider what? Don't like any of them. Don't like reds, don't like yellows. Just want to re-rack, start again. Try and go for a low percentage clearance. I mean, there's a chance on yellows. The reds are very, very difficult without being playing black ball. So we'll go for yellows first. That's 1, 2, 3. That's all I know so far. Just want to nudge this yellow. Oh my god. How are you doing this? It's because you're snatching at everything. Snatching at every shot at the moment. Very close to just giving up. Do you even begin to think when you're in this situation? Can't impart any spin on this. The very small chance I have is if I plant that red into this cushion and get it to pot this yellow. No, is the answer. But again, with my match tonight, I know I'll play well. Because it's always the way. If I play bad in practice, I play well in a match. Directly after that. Probably going to have to shoot off in the next 10 minutes or so. Getting a bit hungry. Okay, this is a high percentage chance for finish. If I don't make this, I think I quit. Let's talk about an exact order. This is not a great red, but as long as you land here for this red, you can then play that next. So I'm not too worried about that. You wouldn't go yellows because of these two. So the exact order on reds. See if we can do this. First time today. One, 2, 3, something like that. And I'll have a choice, that one or that one. Probably go 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, something like that. God, that is absolutely criminal. How have you done that? That's so poor. Oh, unbelievable. All I had to do was just nudge that red, and it's literally sat back on it that I can't see this one or this one. I've got a pot, but jeez, this is not what I wanted to be doing. Absolutely terrible. Right, one more. That's annoyed me, that. Takes a lot to annoy me, and that has annoyed me to the max. Didn't even need to top it through. Could have just left the cue ball where the red was. Story of the session, that one. As soon as I get clearance, I'm going. I'll run and hide once I get finished. Could be here a while, but just give me a ball. Right, again, very similar, weirdly, a similar setup with the two awkward yellows. That means you can't go yellows here. Okay, so let's get reds. I'm going to do the order again. It's more in hope than anything else. I really don't want to leave these two till last, but I probably am going to. No, I'm not. That'd be silly. Right, play this one. Screw back to roughly here. 2, 3, 4. With that shot, I'm going to move this red slightly. Hopefully leave myself a shot on that. Then I'll play that one. Probably that to the corner, this to the middle, and black in the corner. Very loose plan anyway. Oh, this is not a good angle either. What am I doing? Got to switch the order of these two reds. That just allows me to come back to where I am now. A bit of backspin. Again, the objective is to move this red. Okay. Very important there that I didn't move it too far. So it still goes to that corner. And now the finish. I'll probably screw back into a position where I can play two reds here. So, cue ball could not be any worse. I'm on both, but the cue ball is in a really bad place. Oh, okay, I've got away with it on this yellow. This red, I can still see the bottom of it just. That is lucky. Can I play with Efren Reyes? I would love to play with Efren Reyes. Alright, so we've finally got a finish. I think I've only had about 4 out of about 20 today, so I'll take it. And in fact, because I got that, I'll go again until I miss. As soon as I miss, I'll probably call it a day. See how many frames we can run back to back. I've got a feeling it might be 1, but we'll see. I mean, couldn't be much worse, but let me give it a go. Is this my house? Yes. What a bad, bad split. Couldn't get a little bit of luck, could you? Just a small bit of luck. I'm going to redo if I miss. Just because that was terrible from the break. So I'm going to leave once I miss a ball and it's been a good break, basically. Oh my goodness. It's better. What? Look at that. That's how tired I am. I've just gone to chalk the cue with that. Oh, wow. I need to go to bed. All right, come on. Something drop. All right. Well, I mean, it's a chance. It's a slim chance, but it is a chance. Actually, no, I'd like to think yellows are a higher percentage. All right, so let's do the order. Let's go for the exact finish. 1, let's get another cue ball. Now, the last time I did this, it went terribly. I think I potted 1 ball. But 1 to there. That's the hard shot. 2 to there. 3 to here. I'll have a choice. I'll probably go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's probably, whoa, I didn't mean to hit the table there. Probably what I'm going to do. This is the missable one, really. Okay, come on. Need to get back to here. Not the end of the world, still got it. I just desailed on that completely. I've still got a shot to the corner. This goes in, should be an easy finish. Okay, we're on. So the finish becomes 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey. All right, let's keep it going. I appreciate that, Joshua. Thank you. Oh, dear. It's not been a great session today. Haven't had many finishes, but when I have, they've been okay. So I'll take that. Again, I've got a match tonight, so any practice is good practice. So yeah, cheers, 8 ball finesse. Definitely will be. So be sure to watch out on my page in the near future. Basically, I'm currently training to be one of the lead coaches for Ultimate Pool. So if you want to learn how to play pool, I'm hopefully going to be the person who teaches the coaches, if that makes sense. I'll also be coaching myself, most likely at Rocket Ronnie's. So again, if you're interested in face-to-face coaching at a pool hall, then obviously watch out for my page. I'll be putting updates on there in the future. Oh wow. Cheers, mate. Any lessons in London? Not by me, but there will probably be affiliate coaches that are working out of London. Got a couple of pros who will probably be coaching out of there. How long have I played pool? For too long. No, 30 odd years. Alright, what are we doing here then? Reds or yellows? What would you guys do? Reds or yellows? Write in the chat. It's not a bad split. I'm based in Southampton. Okay, so let's look at the problem balls. Those 7 balls, these 4 reds, these 3 yellows, don't worry about them, they're fine. This yellow's fine, this red's okay, this yellow isn't great, but these 4 are the bad balls. This one isn't terrible because it goes. This red isn't terrible. which leaves two. This one and this one. These are the worst two balls. So the question is, which out of those two is going to be easier to move or develop to continue a clearance on that same colour? So if I look at the yellows, I'm leaning towards yellows here, because really with yellows, all you've got to do is land here from maybe this ball. Just say you land there. You then play this yellow. Don't need to do anything with the cue ball in this situation. That yellow, and then that opens up for this yellow. Whereas with reds, you could play this red, but you've got to move that red. So that's the reason why I would go yellows here, is because a red has to be moved. Whereas with yellows, you just have to land good on that ball to be able to have a finish on the three bad yellows, if that makes sense. So now I work backwards. So the pattern will be 3, 4, black. This is the last ball out of these three because I want to be where that yellow is to be able to play that as the connecting shot. So then I've got to figure out which of these two goes first and second, and then where does that yellow go? So if we look at the pattern, I'll grab another cue ball. So the pattern on these three is probably going to be 1. Bear in mind you've got to be dead straight on these. 2. And that leaves me in great position to be able to play 3, which then gets me onto my connecting ball, which is this one. 4. 5. If I've got a bad angle on this, I'll either top through to play this one or this one. So I might play that and then leave that one, followed by this one, and then the black most likely goes into the middle. Something like that anyway. Let's see it. I'm going to mess up first shot, you watch. The key with these three is landing dead straight on this. First job done. Again, dead straight on that. Now, again, don't need to do anything fancy here. Just need to trust in my polling for that next shot. And again, don't need to do anything with the cue ball. Natural playing ball will leave me in this position for that to the corner. This is the hard shot out of the 4, I would say. Because I'm playing it slow. I don't like playing these shots slow, but I've got to. I can't play it fast. Okay, and then I can just top through. And I'm leaving myself a choice with this next shot. So I've got a choice. I can play this one now, or this one. Let's have a look. Which one do I fancy playing first? This is a situation you always want to be in, is having options when you've got less balls on the table. I think I'm going to go for this yellow first. Now with this, all I've got to do is just come back, screw back to leave the black. Cool, so that was definitely the best clearance so far today, I would say. And actually the last 2 or 3 frames have been okay, so I'll keep going until I'll basically keep going until I start playing like an idiot again, if that makes sense. Because this is at least entertaining for me. As much as it is for you guys, it's highly frustrating when I start playing like an idiot. So. Might clip that one as well. What one was that? Let's put a 1 on the scoreboard just so I know when that clearance was. Yes, R&R. Ben, message me on either Instagram. Yeah, message me on Instagram. My account is linked in my TikTok bio. I've only just had this company that I had before. They've only just stopped their sponsorship, so it's come open today, and it will probably go fast, so let me know. Right, what are we doing here then? Reds or yellows? Write it in the chat. R&R knows the rules. You know the rules. Saying that, reds are okay. Problem with reds is the first shot. You're either playing this, because this is the worst red on the table because it doesn't go past this yellow, and this one isn't great either. But say you go for this one, which is slightly easier than this one. If you go for that, your problem becomes getting back onto this at some point. So do you risk going for the difficult ball, knowing if you miss, it's an easy finish for your opponent, or do you take the slightly easier one just to lock in the colours? With yellows, you could play this first and go into the black to try and just move these three. There's not really much need for that, but you could. The problem with that is that it's just unpredictable where the black's going to go and where the yellow's going to go. So I think reds are the option. It's all about the first shot. If you make, oh, wait a minute. This is why you need to assess the whole table. I didn't even look at this red, and this doesn't go. So this is not good. So you're either going to have to move it or land here, which is doable, but just difficult. That's thrown a little bit of a spanner into the works there. Do I trust that I can get on that red? I do. I don't know when, but I do trust that I can get on that red. I'm going to gamble taking this shot first. Even if I miss, I'm going to start again. I'm going to carry on. Because if I make that, it gets rid of the problem red, because it doesn't need to go past this yellow now. If I make that, I'll be leaving myself an angle on this red to then develop or get onto this red. So I'm going to do that first. Very missable. I'll carry on if I miss this ball. Yeah, I'll carry on. Again, it was just a risky shot all around. I'll come back for the one to the corner. Finish as well. Would have been a finish. Would have been a finish. All right, let's go again. Problem with yellows, again, that unpredictability of the first shot, mate. You could have got yellows, but that first shot was so unpredictable. You're not guaranteed to be leaving yourself anything. I'm going to carry on because I still don't feel like I'm playing terribly. Got a bit of a second wind, which is good. If you guys could hit that follow button, sub button, I'd really appreciate it. I didn't pop the black because I didn't really need to. I'd already missed, so it didn't count towards a clearance. Okay. Not a great split. Terrible cue ball. Do I go just re-rack? Kind of want to re-rack. It's just a bad break all round. So in this situation, earlier someone was asking me, if you're in a situation where you know you're not going to go for a clearance like this in a match, if I'm in a match here, very rarely would I go for a finish. Because look, if you look at the yellows, bad yellow, bad yellow, bad yellow. It's 3 bad yellows, 1, 2, 3 bad reds. So there's loads of problems that you have to develop. And if you're the person who goes for the clearance and you mess up, you're likely just leaving your opponent an easy finish. So this is what I would probably do if I had ball in hand in international rules behind the line. Let's see, what would I do? Again, I'm not going for a clearance here specifically, just for this. I don't even know what I would do. What would I do? What would I do? This is one that I'm doing. What I would do is think about it for about half an hour, because I just don't know what I would do in this situation. I think my key is I want to move this yellow. So it might be something like this. Go yellows. get down towards that yellow, and then maybe do something like this. And all that does is leave me a perfect plant. No, it's tied these two yellows up, but what it does, it gets my opponent to the table with a 20 to 30% chance for clearance. If there's someone who goes attacking, they've still got two problem balls, right? So they could, if they make this, let's see, say I make this shot. Which I did. Right, so they're now like, oh, buzzing, I'm attacking, I can pot all these balls. They've still got to develop two problems, right? Could do the first one with the first shot, which is this. And they're like, oh man, I've still got to try and attack because now I can't play a safety. And they might be like, oh, let's see if I can pop this red before the black. So say that went in, right? They're now thinking, okay, how do I develop my last problem ball, right? And again, they're like a potter, so they'll go for it. You can't pot that red before hitting that yellow, so you're going to foul if you play that. So it has to be moved. So the way to move it would be to get here, right? So they might think, let's go here, and then here. Start to get a little bit sticky now, and they're like, oh, okay, so really all I've got to do is leave a double. And now they're just playing low, it's a lower percentage chance for a finish. They break my yellows out, and they miss. So now, so they've missed their problem ball, they've developed my ball. The percentage of them winning the frame, based on this outcome, is now 10%. If you're a good potter, or a good, if you can make patterns pretty easily, this clearance should be made 8 to 9 times out of 10. So that's why it's sometimes good to defend and play a little bit more tactical than it is to just go all out pots if you can't make a finish. I said 8 out of 10. It's a little bit trickier than that, but it should be a makeable finish. And you just lost because you were too aggressive. So that's an example. I know that's a little bit different to what I normally do, but that's an example of maybe going for it at the wrong time. Because I think a lot of people, especially beginners and intermediate players, your mind when it comes to playing pool, if you're playing someone on a similar level to you, your mindset is, going to be, I'll pot as many balls as I can to win the game. If you're interested in advertising, just send me a message on Instagram or TikTok. Your mindset as a beginner and intermediate player is typically going to be, how do I pot these balls to finish the frame, right? Because your mindset is, I want to pot the black to win. Whereas if you're against someone who's slightly higher up level-wise, you've got to think, if I miss, and I'm going for a low percentage clearance, if I miss, there's a high percentage chance that they're going to just clear up. So you don't always have to go for it, if that makes sense. Unless you're playing someone who can't hold a cue, in which case just go for it. Maybe we play another frame like that. Unless you guys want me to try and just clear up. What would you guys rather do? Like a safety frame or a attacking frame? Just put safety or attacking in the chat if you'd rather see like a more tactical side to the game. Again, I'm not a tactical player, so I play my tactical, it's called the B side of the game. My B side is very, very weak, and it's the worst part of my game. And it's what holds me back, I would say. I think the majority is saying attacking. You know what, I'll break and I'll see, and I'll tell you if it's an attacking frame or a safety frame. All right, so we look at the problems. The first shot on yellows is almost impossible. In fact, yeah, it's impossible to pot a yellow, really, unless you're trying to play this yellow into here, which is just very low percentage. With reds, you've at least got a red in here. If you pot that red, all the reds have pockets, so this is not a time to play safety. There's no problems. Like, a problem is if that red is tied onto that yellow. There's no problem balls. So if you pot that first red, it's a 70% chance of a finish. Just a case of keeping the cue ball under control. This is not an easy shot, but hopefully I'll make it. Let's see. Yeah, it was never easy. Never easy. Say it went in. It's the curse of the first shot. If you make that first shot, the game's over. All right, so the pattern on these 6. Let's figure it out. This isn't great, but it's fine. You break the pattern down into 4, 2, because they're quite far away from the other 4, and then the black. The question is, do you play 1, 2, then these 4, or do you play these 4, then those 2, then the black? And I think there's really only one answer, and that is to play these 2 last, because they're so close to the black. Typically, what you don't want to do is travel the cue ball. So if you were to play these 2 first, then play these 4, you've got to move back into a position that's moving away from the 4 to land on the black. Whereas with these 2, you don't have to move the cue ball very far because it's going to be close to where those reds are. So I know I'm talking a little bit, but hopefully you guys are finding it interesting. There is a natural pattern between these 4 and getting onto the connecting ball, which is this. So that pattern would be 1, say to here, to leave 2, screw back to here. As long as you make that semi-difficult cut to the middle, you don't have to do anything with the cue ball. You can just leave it there for 4. And then you just roll forward slightly to leave a dead straight red to here. Leave the cue ball there to play this one. And then from this red, you just come up to play the black in the corner. So very little travel with the cue ball on this finish. It's really only this shot that slightly concerns me, but it shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, so hopefully what you'll notice with this finish, watch how little distance the cue ball travels. Okay, I don't need to do anything with the cue ball again. So again, just very minimal movement in the cue ball. Obviously, it's a shame I didn't make that first shot, but that was always the risk with that clearance. It was always going to be difficult to keep that cue ball controlled. So, been shopping at Next, have you, Chris? Again, if you guys have got any questions, feel free to ask. Alright, again, I'll do the same thing. I'll break, and then I'll tell you if it's like a tactical frame or an attacking frame. How do you predict where the cue ball is? You don't predict, you start to develop a feeling of how hard to hit the ball to move it. Alright, so we've got a problem on the table, which is the red and the yellow there. Now, if you're in a frame right now, you've got the table because you potted on the break. The first question you're asking yourself is, am I going for the clearance here? And if I miss the chance at a clearance, is my opponent going to finish the clearance if I miss? So in this situation, obviously me being me, 100% I'm going for a finish here. That yellow has to be moved, and so does that red, obviously. I just think with the yellows that are here, it's easier to break that up with these 2 yellows than it is from any of these kind of 5 reds, breaking this red up. I also don't love this red tight to the cushion. I don't love this red. You could play it first, but no, you wouldn't. So So we're going to go yellows, and it's just a case of developing that problem ball early. I've got an angle to go into it now, but I don't know if I want to. Do I want to do that straight away? It's actually very close to hitting that red first if I go for that, but it's the perfect angle on it. I'd like to think I could leave that yellow in here if I make this. Okay, so we've freed up the problem with the first shot, which is key. Don't leave your bad ball until last. That's what I would recommend. So now we probably, because it's so close to the cue ball, you're going to play these two, maybe first, second. You could potentially play this first, but it's a risk of a push shot and you have a little lack of control of the cue ball. It's probably screwing back to around here. Doesn't leave a great angle on that. So I think first shot is that one to here, leave that one. And then you're moving up to the other four, and we'll talk about a pattern from there. That's not a great shot. I should be there, too high that way, but I should be able to salvage it. I just need to go bottom right hand side, 2 cushions, 1, 2, and then out. Ideally to there to play that one to the corner. Got into it a little bit. I am still on the one to the corner, but it's not an ideal shot. I'm on the one to the middle, which is handy because this is not a great ball. So now we just look at the order of the finish. This one's going to be first. You play this one to here, play this one second. Again, little travel on the cue ball, don't need to move it. Third, punch back to here, fourth, and then all you got to do is just move the cue ball forward a little bit for the black in the corner. Again, just notice how little distance the cue ball moves from each shot. So just ultimately, let's look at these. I'll just do a quick pattern real quick with the reds. And I'll show you what a beginner would do, right? And this is what to avoid, okay? Let's think, hang on one sec. How can I make this more? All right, so this is what a beginner would probably do. They definitely wouldn't play this first, they play this first. Right, so you've just picked up your cue, you put a bit of chalk on, and then what you're thinking as a beginner is, oh, there's an easy ball here, I've got to play that because it's easy, I know it's going to go in, whereas I could miss the others. Whereas if you do that, watch what happens, right? So you go for this one first, no movement on the cue ball, then you play this one because it's easy, and just look at where the cue ball's going, it's like there's no control, right? Then you play maybe, say that one doesn't go. Then maybe you play this one, which is a harder shot. And then you're out of control, and sure enough, you foul. So that whole principle behind traveling the cue ball, it's called traveling the cue ball. If we do that exact same finish, I'll set it up. That exact same pattern, right? One there, it was like that roughly. Say this is your finish. The way that I would do it, and not to say that I'm a pro, but the way that I would do it, I would be aiming to not have much movement with the cue ball. So if you look, the best way to join it up with the dots, one, join the dots kind of thing, right? 1, 2, all I've got to do is move a few inches here for 3, move no inches there to play 4, again move nothing there to play 5, play this one last 6, and all I've got to do is screw back to here to play 7. So this ball is my last ball, even though it's the easiest shot on the table. It's a bit of a careless shot just because I'm not 1 inch further up table, but again, the control comes from very little movement in the cue ball, and it's just a case of joining the dots. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's go carry it on. No, to be fair, Jack, I didn't know the cue ball was going to go in off, but you risk it by moving the cue ball around, basically. If you guys are interested in coaching, I'm currently training to become a head coach with Ultimate Pool, and I will be offering face-to-face coaching in the future. If that's something you're interested in, be sure to look out for posts on my page in the future. Okay, so let's first off look at the bad balls. 1, 2. They're going to have to be moved, both of them, because that red doesn't go past that yellow into that corner. Yeah, either one is going to have to be moved. So let's look for which one you can go into that with control. Again, you want to do it as early as possible because you don't want to have problem balls hanging around because they'll become a bigger problem the longer you leave them. I think with the yellows, the issue with yellows is you could do it with yellows. You could play this ball first, play that there, leave the cue ball here. You're playing that yellow to go into the red and yellow. If you go reds, you're probably playing this first to come here to play that to move the red and the yellow, guaranteeing that you're leaving these. So there's really, you could do it with either. I think I personally prefer reds just because there's going to be little movement with the cue ball, hopefully. Or do I like reds? I like both. I like both. I don't mind both here. I could see this shot going wrong, basically. That's the reason why I'm starting to second guess reds. If I tie myself onto that yellow, I'm going to be so annoyed. Right, so we've got the angle from here just to move that. I don't need to push it anywhere. I don't want to push it towards this yellow. I just need separation to allow that red to be able to go into that pocket. So I'm actually just going to play into the yellow. And all that's done. I could have done with not being on the cushion, but I've got a shot. I can play either one of these two. Want it to be like there would have been perfect. Okay, let's go for the one in the middle of the table first. Just to leave a straight red. And again, I want the angle, basically I want it here, because I want to be straight on this, to just screw back to here to play middle, and then black corner. Maybe should have gone yellows. Actually, I don't hate, yeah, 6 inches forwards from this red is fine. And all I've got to do, if I hit this yellow, it's a bonus because it means it opens the pocket up for the black. I need to get basically on this line. I can't afford to leave the cue ball down here because it leaves a bad angle on this red to get on the black. I'm going to aim to try and go into that yellow, hopefully. A little bit of right-hand side. And all that's done, it's left me the dead straight red and now nothing in the way of the black. Whereas that yellow, where it was just creating a bit of a problem. Cool. I think a lot of players would have opted to not try and go into that yellow because it could have gone wrong, but I'm pretty confident at the moment, so I figured I'd just go for it. guys got any questions, feel free to ask. Okay. See if we can get another one. Hit that. So if you want to know the information for the logo space on the back of my shirt, go onto my page. Click on my bio and you've got the message bit. Either message me on TikTok or Instagram and I'll give you information. All right, what are you going for? Are you going for reds or yellows? Write in the chat. What would you do, reds or yellows in this situation? Okay, first clue, you can't go reds. I know anyone who said reds, I apologise. You definitely cannot go reds here because you can't see a red. And you can't play that yellow onto that red because it's international rules, it's not black ball rules. So because you can't hit a red first, there's no red to pot, therefore you have to go yellows. This yellow is a problem, obviously, but so is that red. So, yeah, you can't go reds because you can't. Which red are you going to pot first? There's no first ball. That's the most important thing with a clearance. The first, no, that doesn't go to the middle because this yellow's in the way. This yellow is almost a full ball snooker on that red. It's probably a deceptive angle, that's all I'm saying. Here, I'll show you. I'll prove it, I'm not lying. I don't normally do this. That is a full ball snooker right there, almost. So you don't. What red are you on? Not that one. 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 And you're definitely not on those two. So for that reason, you've got to go yellows. Yellow to middle. Sorry, I thought you meant red to middle. That makes more sense. So yeah, yellows is the better choice. Yellows is the only choice. Yellows is not the better choice, it's the only choice. So let's get this camera back up. Sorry guys on YouTube, that was specifically for people who were asking on TikTok. If you do want to see what I was doing just now, well, I mean, having both open is a good thing. Cheers, Morgan. All right, so we're going yellows. Let's go. Do I play that to middle or do I play this first? Yeah, I think I'll play this first. This is probably going to be the ball that breaks that out, but we'll see. Okay. So we'll control this shot. I don't know what. If I land here, that shot on that ball could break that yellow out. So I think if I can hit this red, it'd be ideal. Or just go close to it would be great. Okay, so I'm running out of balls now to be able to break out this problem. I can do it in 2 shots time. So I can play this to here, play that and go into it, which I'm going to have to do, but it's leaving me a difficult shot if I don't leave myself on that yellow. Okay, so I've got a position to be able to nudge the yellow out. Ideally, I want to be leaving myself on it to this corner. Okay, cool. It's to the corner, but it's not ideal. Again, I'm leaving myself a difficult last yellow here. But if I make this, I don't need to do anything with the cue ball. I can just come off this cushion, land here, black goes in the middle pocket. Very missable shot. Yep. All right, I'm going to make this my last frame. Getting a little bit hungry. Yeah, let's make it the last one. Again, if anyone's up Rocket Ronnie's tonight, feel free to say hi. I'll be up there tonight. If anyone wants to watch the match tonight, again, feel free. Starts at 8 o'clock. It's only a race to 6 though, so it'll probably take about an hour. Link to the table is in my bio. It's around about £1,700 to £1,800 delivered. UK delivery only. All right, last frame. That was like a perfect break. Wow. A little cloth protects the grey cloth when you're racking the balls. Oh, what do you mean this? This protects the area you break from cloth burn. All right, so this is definitely a case of going yellows. I don't think there's any reason why you would go reds. You could, but you just wouldn't. Saying that, have a look. Let's have a look. Could anything go wrong if I go yellows? I don't like where the black is in relation to these two yellows, but it's not bad. I much prefer the black, where the black is based on these two reds. I think there's actually a shout for going yellows, reds here. That would be your first shot. That would be your second shot. That would be your third shot. If you can play these 3 balls and land on these 3, reds are easy. That is a shout for reds. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to go reds. I'm going to go reds, because why not? Should have gone yellows. Immediate regret. Okay, no, I wish I'd gone reds, and I did. Let's get yellows as well. Cheers, Andy. Don't go in. Don't jaw me. Ah, oh, angled. No, I'm alright. Terrible. I played that one-handed for anyone who didn't see. Alright, that's me done, guys. Thanks so much for the likes, follows and shares. Today, been live for a couple of hours, which is good. 2 balls, 1 shot, let's see it. So close. Any questions, feel free to ask. If you're on the black here, you're yellows and your opponent's reds. Good tip for you. If your cue ball is anywhere that side of my cue, you can play into the jaws on most English pool tables. Hit that jaw with topspin, and you should. I'll probably take me a couple of goes. Take me a couple of goes. Exactly. I said it would take me a couple. If it takes me 10, I'm going to be really annoyed. You play that shot. That's a tip if you're in the pub and you get snookered by your mates. How long have I been playing? About 30 years. Okay, I'm sure you would. Any tips for aiming? Yeah. I've got a good one for you. So, and this is only for people who've stayed because I said I was going to leave. I'll stay just to give you this bit of advice. say you've got a shot like that and you're someone who struggles with straight shots, right? Now, YouTube, you guys have got a better angle here because I'm on camera, whereas TikTok, you guys can't really see it as much. So the first thing to do, I would say, is to find out which eye is dominant. Do you have a dominant left eye or a dominant right eye? Most people have one eye which is dominant. Some people have both, but it's rare. So the way to find out which eye is dominant is take your hands like this, create kind of a circle. And if I do this on the TikTok camera, you see how you can see the cue ball in the camera, in between my hands? If you do that with an object, like look at an object through your hands like this, that's about 20 feet away from you, right? Hold it in position so you can see that object through your hands. Then you're going to close one eye and then see if you can still see the object ball or the object. If you then close that eye and open the other eye, one eye you'll be able to see the object, the other one typically you can't see the object. The object has to be like 30 yards or whatever away from you, okay? So that eye that you can see the object through is your dominant eye, okay? So whenever you're lining up a shot like this, the way to look at it would be through your dominant eye instead of both. So if you're looking at that dead straight line like this to that corner, I'm left eye dominant, so my left eye looks at that line, it draws a line between the pocket, the object ball, cue ball, and then all the way down, cue ball down to the table, off the table and on the floor. So I've got a line that effectively goes like this long, right? Using my left eye. Then if you're right-handed, if you play right-handed, what you're going to do is you're going to step on that line with your right foot, then come into the shot, and your right elbow will line up with your right foot and allow you to play a straight shot. So anyone who's looking for tips on aiming, that's my personal tips. You can go into more detail with it, but that's a very basic start. So again, draw that line it up with your dominant eye, step on that line with the right foot, step into the shot. You know that you're playing a straight shot because your right elbow, your right hand will follow the line that you stepped on. So yeah, much appreciate you guys tuning in. Any questions, feel free to ask. No worries, Chris. But yeah, it's important, find out which eye is dominant. Who's left eye dominant, right eye dominant, by the way? Did that make sense, me explaining that? Guys on YouTube, if you saw, I was basically holding up my hands like this. See how I can see the cue ball between there? What you got to do is find an object that's like 30 yards away, do this, and whichever eye you can see that object through. So you just close one, then open it, then close the other, open it, whatever. You'll be able to see through one eye versus the other. That's your dominant eye. And when you line up shots, when you're like this and you're seeing if a ball goes, use your dominant eye, so I use my left eye, to be able to see if a ball goes versus looking with both. Often it throws off if you're using both eyes, especially if you're left or right eye dominant. Any other questions before I shoot off, guys? Both, fair enough. 2 shots. It depends what rule set you're playing. Black ball rules, yes. International rules, no. Cool. It's finding out which eye is left, which eye is dominant, your left eye or your right eye. Find an object through your hands. For those of you who just joined, who just asked me anyway, find an object through your fingers like this. Look at it that's like 30 yards away. Look at it, close one eye and do you still see the object? Open that eye, close the other one, etc. Whichever eye you can see the object through is your dominant eye. Yeah, just follow either black ball rules or international rules if you want to know how to basically play the game. If the white ball goes in international rules, it's ball in hand. If it's on the break, it's ball in hand behind the line, 1 shot. If it's during open play, it's ball in hand anywhere on the table, 1 shot. Black ball rules, you get a free shot, so like 2 shots, but they don't carry over. Again, anyone who's in Southampton, feel free to head on down to Rocket Ronnie's tonight. I'll be playing a match, I I've been live for a couple of hours now, nearly 3 hours. It's pretty long for me on my own, so I'll take that. But I appreciate all the likes, follows, shares. Hit that follow button if you can. And I don't really use the ghost ball technique personally, but I would say to watch a YouTube video because it takes a little bit of explanation. Just type ghost ball technique into YouTube and there's going to be tons of videos. But I've got to shoot off now, so apologies. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in on TikTok. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys soon. Guys on YouTube, thank you again for tuning in. I should be live tomorrow, but yeah, watch this space. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.